Welcome to my series of presentation on project appraisal. The objective of this video is to firstly introduce what is project appraisal, look at interest rate, in particular simple and compound interest, and finally we'll go through an example and a quick discussion on interest rate. So what is project appraisal? Project appraisal is essentially calculating whether a project is worthwhile or not by looking at the cash flows involved in the project. So that is the revenue and the expense, in deciding whether it will generate a profit or loss. Okay, so one of the key components of project appraisal is the interest involved. Now, interest is defined as the fee that the borrower must pay the lender for using their money, and we can calculate interest using two different methods. Firstly, simple interest and compound interest. So the formula for simple interest is shown as below. I, which is the interest required, is given by PRT. P is the principal, or the amount that was originally borrowed. R is the rate that the lender is asking for. And T is the period of time. This could be monthly, yearly, or daily, depending on the agreement. Okay. So the second method of interest is compound interest. Now, compound interest is given as below. A equals P bracket 1 plus R to the T. And similar to simple interest, P is the principal, R is the rate, and T is the period of time. Now, the difference between simple and compound in the formula particularly is that for simple interest, you only work out the interest. Whereas for compound interest, you work out the total. That is the interest as well as the original borrowing. Okay, so we're just going to go through a quick example using these two methods to kind of see the similarity and the difference between the two methods. Okay. So let's assume that Bob lends Bill some money. Okay, so $5,000 at a rate of 10% for 2 years, and we just want to work out how much Bill have to repay Bob for this money using the two different interest rate methods. So the first method is the simple interest. So we use the formula I equals PRT. We put in our variables, so that was the $5,000 at 10% for 2 years, and we get a I of 1,000. So that means that after 2 years, Bill has to repay Bob $6,000 for using the $5,000. Okay. So now the second method we're going to look at is the compound interest. Now the compound interest is shown as below. A equals bracket 1 plus R to the T, and so we put in those values and we get that the amount is 6,050. That's and this is the amount. So as you can see, we didn't have to add the original 5,000 to that because the compound interest formula does that for us already. Okay, now as you can see from the simple and the compound will always give you a bigger answer compared to simple interest. And the reason for that is for simple interest, it neglects the interest on interest, which the compound accounts for. And by doing so, the compound interest will always give you a slightly higher total amount. So if you're the lender, this is always a good thing because you always get more money if you use compound. And this is why in real life we only use compound interest. Thank you.